What's up, guys? No sports team wants to be in a position where they have to tank. Simply devoting 2 to 5 years of non-stop losing while simply praying for draft lottery luck carries a ton of risk, but also plenty of rewards. A handful of teams currently find themselves in no man's land. They are nowhere close to competing for championships, but they have plenty of talent on their rosters. Well, the choice is simple. Tank. Just do everything you can to not be good for a few years. And over time, the positive results will eventually show. So which sports teams find themselves in such a position at the moment? I'm Jason Biondo, and today we present 10 teams who need to start tanking now. Make sure to subscribe to TPS, put on your notifications too, because we post videos all the time. New videos all the time, subscribe. Number 10. Detroit Pistons. The Pistons only made the playoffs twice in the 2010s. They were first-round sweeps at the hands of the Cleveland Cavaliers and Milwaukee Bucks in 2016 and 2019. The Pistons just haven't been able to build a rebound winner around stud center and rebound machine Andre Drummond. Even trading for all-star big man Blake Griffin hasn't done much to change Detroit's fortunes. Well, the good news is that the Pistons can tank by trading their two star players in Drummond and Griffin. There would surely be a market for veteran guard Reggie Jackson as well. The Pistons could acquire so many young assets and draft picks if they traded these three players. It would put them in great position to win the NBA draft lottery in 2020, 2021, and 22. Why not try that out? Rather than just attempt to make the playoffs as a bottom seed with this current team. Easy call. It's tank time for the Motor City. Number 9, Cleveland Indians. It feels weird putting a team that won 3 straight AL Central titles from 2016 to 18 on this list. Not to mention the Indians were just 1 win away from winning the World Series in 2016. But hear us out. The Minnesota Twins have emerged as the new kings of the AL Central. They have a younger core and more money to play with than the Indians. All-star pitchers Corey Kluber and Trevor Bauer know they're going to get traded before their contracts run up. The Indians can't afford to keep them. Owner Paul Dolan already admitted the cash-strapped and low-budget Indians won't be able to re-sign franchise face Francisco Lindor. That means they probably won't be able to keep Jose Ramirez much longer either. It's disappointing, but that's how it is in baseball. Small market teams like Cleveland can't just hand out contracts of $150 million plus to their stars. Their only choice is to just trade all their all-star players for elite prospects and other young talents. Translation: the Indians need to tank. If they can make the right trades, the rebuild in the land might not last long. But ownership and management must commit to a tank job and simply trade all their core players while they're under team control. Number 8, Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks were one of the NHL's elite teams for over a decade in the post-lockout era. A 2007 Stanley Cup championship, 4 trips to the Western Conference Final, and 5 straight Pacific Division titles from 2013 to 17. But when the Ducks were swept by the San Jose Sharks in the opening round of the 2018 playoffs, it was a clear sign that their tremendous run had come to an end. Sure enough, the Ducks were quite terrible in 2018 and 19, finishing 3rd to last in the Western Conference with 80 points. GM Bob Murray fired head coach Randy Carlyle before the season ended, and he bought out franchise icon Corey Perry. Both were difficult moves, but also the right ones to make. Now Murray has to just keep moving out all his veteran players and begin a tank job. Anaheim has a nice group of prospects and some young talents here, namely Troy Terry, Trevor Zegras, and all-star goalie John Gibson. But they should be trading the likes of Ryan Getzlaf and Cam Fowler. They should keep looking for ways to move on from fading star Ryan Kessler as well. Anaheim is nowhere close to competing in a Pacific Division that features 3 powerhouse teams plus a pair of up-and-coming clubs. They should tank now, secure all those top 5 picks, and try to get this rebuild done right. Trying to win with this aging and expensive group would be a big mistake. Murray has to realize that. Number 7, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No playoff berths for the Buccaneers since the 2007 season. They've been a laughingstock in the NFC South, watching their 3 divisional foes in the Saints, Falcons, and Panthers become consistent playoff contenders. All 3 have reached the Super Bowl, while the Bucs have continued to be the definition of mediocre. The Bucs hired Bruce Arians as head coach in 2019, hoping he can fix a pretty talented team that hasn't been able to put it together. So we wish him luck. If Jameis Winston can't perform well in a make-or-break year, then it's time to cut ties and look for a quarterback in the 2020 draft. With Mike Evans and Chris Goodwin in the fold, the new Tampa QB would be set up for lots of success. Tampa Bay would probably be wise to shop veterans like Levante David, Shaquille Barrett, and maybe even Jason Pierre-Paul. Perhaps somebody would take a chance on Noah Spence as well. The Bucs have drafted some quality players. Devin White and Vita Vea should be big-time contributors on defense, but the Buccaneers may need to tank for 1 or 2 years. They have to get more high-end picks and then focus on contending again. Again, that's all assuming Arians isn't able to fix this team in short time. Number 6, Chicago Bulls. The Bulls bought out Dwayne Wade and traded all-star guard Jimmy Butler to the Minnesota Timberwolves at the draft before the 2017-18 season. Good on the Bulls for trying to get younger, but GM Gar Forman hasn't done his best job in tanking. Rather, he's been trying to get this rebuild done in short time. There's a nice young core here consisting of Finnish big man Lauri Markkanen and Zach LaVine, but what was the point of that Jabari Parker free agent signing in 2018, only to flip him to the Washington Wizards in a package deal for Otto Porter Jr.? The Bulls have also held on to Robin Lopez for far too long here, and I don't know, don't you think they should have traded Denzel Valentine by now? The Bulls have refused to deal away some of their few trade chips, and as we saw in Parker and later Porter, the front office is taking on expensive contracts, which isn't necessary. Chicago's tank job in 2018-19 wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good enough, thus costing them a chance at Zion Williamson. This front office should be looking to move out Porter, Lopez, and either LaVine or Chris Dunn. Clear more space, add more picks, pile up on lottery selections. It's a simple formula to tanking, which will lead to winning in the long run. Number 5, New York Giants. I mean, if you're going to trade a world-class wide receiver in Odell Beckham Jr., you may as well trade every big-name player you have. Okay, maybe not running back sensation Saquon Barkley. He's like too good, but you get the idea. The Giants should just move on from veteran quarterback Eli Manning. I mean, yeah, they're kind of using him to train Daniel Jones now, but it's long overdue. And we know they only signed Golden Tate during the 2019 offseason just to trade the guy if he continues to produce well. Janoris Jenkins and Alec Ogletree can go too. The Giants have tried time and time again to build another championship team around Eli. We suggest they just go all in on the tank job and move out everybody and tank for the next 3 or so years. They're nowhere close to competing in a tough NFC East. But this is the Giants. Just because they should tank, it doesn't mean they will. But no, seriously, Giants, tank. Just tank. Now, do it. It's in your best interest. Number 4, Los Angeles Kings. Like their Pacific Division rivals, the aforementioned Anaheim Ducks, the LA Kings were a consistent winner for much of the 2010s. But now the window has closed. Their 2012 and 2014 Stanley Cup championships feel like a lifetime ago, even though they have the same core intact. Coaching and front office changes haven't helped the Kings reverse their fortunes. They missed the playoffs in 2015, 2017, and 2019. Their last postseason series win was in 2014, when they won their second cup. The Kings extended their franchise defenseman Drew Doughty and superstar center Anze Kopitar. They clearly want to rebuild around the two perennial all-stars. Fine by us, but sniper Jeff Carter, veteran pest Dustin Brown, and stud goalie Jonathan Quick should probably be moved. May as well move former 20-goal man Tyler Toffoli and veteran blue liner Alec Martinez while they're at it. The Kings are old and slow. They don't have much in the prospect pipeline. They're way behind their Pacific Division rivals. Time to just bite the bullet. They should realize their window is gone and tank for several years. The 2020 and 2021 NHL drafts look ultra deep in talent. Why not just enhance your lottery odds by tanking? Really. Number 3, San Francisco Giants. Nobody should be surprised that the Giants are a couple of years behind in beginning a rebuild. This team won World Series championships in 2010, 12, and 14. Expectations just kept getting higher from there. The team just wanted to keep on trying to add more titles while they had the core intact. Nobody can blame them. But after consecutive losing seasons in 2017 and 18, it became clear the Giants needed to rebuild. They struck out on landing prized free agent Bryce Harper, who wound up signing with the Philadelphia Phillies. And I'm sure he might regret that big time. Although he has $300 million, I know. As bad as the Giants are now, this team has plenty of quality trade pieces. Hard to see them trading all-star catcher and franchise face Buster Posey, but they should. They should be able to find takers for other veterans like Brandon Crawford, Brandon Belt, Kevin Pillar, and Evan Longoria. Maybe somebody will take a chance on pitcher Johnny Cueto. San Fran has arguably the worst farm system in all of baseball, and a high payroll, and an aging core, and a bad baseball team. So they're nowhere close to catching up to the NL West foe Los Angeles Dodgers, nor the Colorado Rockies or San Diego Padres. It's time to cut their losses. They have to trade away everyone and begin a rebuild. Hard to do in a huge baseball market like San Fran, but it's necessary if the Giants want to win again. Number 2, Washington Wizards. Sometimes you forget this is even a team, to be honest. The Wizards were long viewed as an up-and-coming team led by all-star point guard John Wall and his sidekick Bradley Beal. The Wizards made the postseason 4 times from 2014 to 2018. They fell just one game short of reaching the 2017 Eastern Conference Finals, narrowly losing to the top-seeded Boston Celtics in the second round. But things have gone off the rails in DC, and there's no fixing this mess. Wall's $170 million contract is viewed as the most untradeable in the NBA right now. Knee and heel injuries have slowed him down, and it's safe to wonder if we've seen the end of Wall in his prime. Maybe Washington should just swap him for another bad contract. Time to move on. The Wizards would get a wonderful package for Beal. Some promising young players, plus multiple draft selection seems about right. Washington just needs to move out every notable veterans they have and try to tank. Like, and when I say tank, I mean tank. Like big time. They aren't a playoff caliber team right now. They're nowhere close to winning a championship. The only way to get there is to commence a scorched earth rebuild. The best way to do that, end the Wall-Beal era and start from the beginning again. Number 1. This one just warms my heart at the thought of this. Cincinnati Bengals. Owner Mike Brown doesn't seem to like the idea of change. As evidenced by his decision to hold on to Marvin Lewis as head coach for 16 years, even though the guy never won a single playoff game. Okay, great. They finally made a change at coach. But what about their roster? Andy Dalton went from Pro Bowler to mediocre, and they benched him on his birthday. The Bengals have been sinking over the past few years. Why not trade or cut Dalton and try to tank for Alabama QB Tagovailoa? I hope that's how you say it. Or one of their top QB prospects for the 2020 draft. As bad as the Bengals are, they have so many trade chips that could secure bundles of picks in return. Veteran Pro Bowl wideout AJ Green comes to mind. Of course he does. Like, come on. Pass rushing stud Geno Atkins as well. We're sure somebody would take the chance on Dalton. Running back Giovanni Bernard would have some value as well. The Bengals are miles behind all 3 AFC North foes. The Cleveland Browns and Baltimore Ravens have windows that are just opening up, while the Pittsburgh Steelers promise to not go away anytime soon. The Bengals are a mess right now. They just need to accept they blew their chances to win with Lewis, Green, and Dalton. So everyone trade away. Tank for Tua, or another quarterback, anyone, literally anyone. Just accept your destiny, Cincinnati, and try to be bad for 3 years. It'll lead to great things down the road, we promise. And we're sure Bengals fans are on board with Mission Tank Job. What other sports teams need to start tanking now? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Yeah, subscribe. We really like posting social media content because that's what the world has come to now. Remember when we all used to just talk to each other in person? I don't know. I'm getting really sentimental here. Anyway, yeah, subscribe to TPS because we post videos all the time. Like our video because I know you liked it. If you're here right now, still watching, you definitely liked it. So give it a like. And of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
My knee.